Alright, you hooligans. You know how we start these things. Roll call.
Ryan.
Kyle.
Mikey.
And Steven! Welcome back, everybody, to episode 24 of our Misty Fortune Absent Hearts campaign as we head towards the exciting climax of the Tempter. When we last left our favorite misplaced adventuring party of the Forgotten Realms, is it Hometown Heroes, I believe is still the running name we're going with. Murder at the feet of
I've
top.
forgotten.
That's the only one that's ever been out and about, but you know, it's not like
Yeah.
you guys are an official guild. So our working name.
It's Three's Company, please.
Go.
I thought we were the Twilight Trio.
Twilight. I think that was like the more proper name we were thinking about, but also
Yes, and
I
since
don't
you're no
think we
longer
ever, like,
a
truly-
tabaxi, we can't quite do the Beastie Boys.
I know, so close. I mean,
Uh.
undead, kind of beasts.
the ghoulish gentleman. I don't know.
The ghoulish gents.
The ghoulish goys. You know, it's goys. Everywhere goys.
These ghouls.
When we last left our constantly changing, never quite fitting team name. Murder in the Feetotop Manor. As the sudden, ill-timed death of Lady Feetotov reverberated through the manor, in a singular moment, what was once a beautiful gala manor has now twisted into a horrible house of undeath and macabre murder. Our adventurers successfully defended themselves in the Grand Salon, rescued Luca Costel from being killed by a number of undead and skeletal bulls, and safely sequestered him away safely in a fallen armoire. After some investigating and good use of Alder's keen mind, the party had seen Lady Feetotov's ghostly visage head towards her family crypt deep within the hedge-maze outside of her estate. Knowing that whatever is happening here is likely tied to her risen form, the party, specifically Alder, remembered that the Feetotov Estates is home to a number of curse breakers and curse users, and remembered that there was a certain amount of, how do I want to phrase this? Specific care taken in the number of scions throughout the house. After investigating Lady Feetotov's personal salon and finding a journal showcasing her former relationship with the burgomaster of Orsnu, Ivan, and also Lady Feetotov's own sense of superiority over others due to her status and her wealth, the party surmised that the seal of the seventh scion of the seventh son of House Feetotov would be necessary to confront her, or continue to investigate into the family crypt. Heading over to the art gallery after having found the sigil within the library of the Feetotop Manor, a tricky fight engaged the party. A seemingly hideous flesh golem, made of various body parts and taking on the forms of the party members, stepped through the large mirrors inside the art gallery, right as Alder retrieved the seventh sigil, the sigil of the seventh scion of House Feetotov. The battle was brutal, with the golem seemingly not taking any damage until Jove noticed that it was a simple illusion. Instead of being made of flesh and twisted flesh, it was thousands of small, interconnected, sharp mirrors chained together at various weak spots. Using the mirrors, Jove assisted Virgil in striking these weak points, whilst a dark figure leapt from the mirror to mirror, casting Crown of Madness, Hypnotic Pattern, unsuccessfully trying to telekinesis most of the party at one point or another, with Alder having an exceptional strength check to resist. Slowly but surely, the party whittled down the golem, breaking the many small mirrors, and then breaking the large mirrors, forcing this dark entity, this mirror golem, to be stuck in one singular mirror, with some fantastic rolls by the group, poor rolls by myself, and good use of the new abilities from your patron, Alder. The party was victorious, successfully claiming the sigil and leaving the art gallery, although a bit worse for wear. The party returned back to the library to take a short rest to prepare themselves to venture further into the hedge maze and find the family crypts of the Feetotobs. Checking in, lastly, on Luca to see him safely sequestered away in his hiding spot, whilst you, the party, continue on your adventures. We now return back. You all are standing out on the terrace overlooking the hedge maze. It goes out for a couple acres, you imagine. Impressive during the daylight, but now at nights, with the moon becoming more and more obscured by heavy clouds above, the shadows of the maze twist, join together, making it seem almost like a heavy black block of darkness instead of the intricately manicured hedge maze. The animals that were made out of the topiaries and shrubbery surrounding are now overgrown, now seem more like twisted hands reaching out from the earth rather than the fun animals that they represented earlier in the day. Many of the hedges now seem thorny, bramble-covered, reaching out to pierce the skin of those unfortunate enough to run in between them. And deep from within, you hear once again the screeching call of what once was Lady Feetotov. We return back now to the party. You have the moment to converse amongst yourselves. Further, any more preparation? I believe we finished the short rest with everyone rolling their hit dice and retrieving their various bonuses. But the moment is now yours as you look onto the hedge maze.
Just to clarify, who exactly wants to carry that sigil with us?
I can do it.
All right. Don't feel bad if you gotta just throw that thing down in a pinch. I think you're better with the pick in your hand.
Right, and I'm not sure if the lady of the house is going to be too happy to see us once we get there. So, I mean, it always helps to try and talk to her, but I don't know about you, Alder. She seemed pretty keen on keeping anybody out.
Yeah, well, classic ghost story, right? Always got something left behind, something that they're agonizing over. Can't imagine she's gonna listen to reason too much here. But same time, we know what to prepare for.
Well, at least we know part of it. She was saying that somebody's trying to get in there, so we still have that one unknown. But beyond that, I guess we got to get through this hedge maze first. I was trying to get a good look at it during the party, but just like the house looks like it's changed as well.
We could use fire to get through the hedge maze. I mean, that's just a theory.
Well, we'd set the whole hedge maze on fire. I don't know if that makes it easier to get through, but I guess
I mean, we'd have to wait it out, but eventually there would be no more hedge maze. I'm just throwing things out there. That
Well,
the fire could also get to the
certainly,
friend.
Oh, I assume that it is protected from fire. If they have all these other things in place, I imagine it's protected from fire. Although maybe not. I don't know. I'm just throwing out theories.
If I remember anything from my gaffer stories, that anytime you go into something like a maze, it's always good to be tracking yourself as you're going. So we should try and figure out, if we start taking rights and lefts and what have yous, that we know how to get out, just in case we don't want to burn the whole thing down. And, well,
Well,
hate to get lost in here.
and my worry, especially for you gentlemen, is if I do burn this thing down and you're stuck in there, that's a whole lot of flames and smoke around you.
Yeah,
Not to be racist on my own account, but there's a certain story regarding a minotaur that I'm sure we're all familiar with. Regarding tying a rope to yourself to find your way out. I, however, only have 50 feet on me, and it is we did have to cut it at one point when we were crossing that river. So I mean, tying it together would lose maybe a foot, but 49 feet of rope.
yeah, I've got rope as well. I've got some pinions and whatnot for climbing gear, so we could stake it out in front of here and at least lead us a little bit. But I don't know, from when I was eyeballing, I don't know how much 100 feet of rope's going to get us.
Yeah. Uh, does our wizard friend have any clairvoyant magic?
Well, once upon a time, I certainly had some really nice spells that could have helped us with something like this. These days, hmm, uh, I don't really know if I could. Uh, Say, Jove, I don't know, that bird, you wouldn't be able to call him over, right? Our wizard friend, bird, familiar?
Yeah, I know Celios is back at home. I don't know. One thing that I do have a plenty and isn't so much of a use out here is I do have a relatively hefty sack of gold that's only good in the Forgotten Realms. I could breadcrumb it and hopefully pick it back up on the way. Uh, but at least something of a trail. Maybe we could do something similar with something a little less valuable. At this point, I think that's what I have in the highest quantity.
That's not a bad idea, Jove. I certainly don't know what else we have a big collection of that we could trickle around. And yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have the clairvoyant magic to look over a maze like this.
Joe, from my knowledge, how much gold pieces do you have?
Just straight up Forgotten Realms pieces, I have
Yes.
1,350.
Yeah, you're feeling pretty confident you should have enough. At least you're certainly hoping so.
And I wouldn't need to do it like every 2 steps, you know.
No, real Hansel
I
and
guess
Gretel.
depends. Yeah, exactly. Hands. The only other thing would be anything that had a pungent smell to it. My
Yourself.
well, uh, I do have a certain
Oh.
musk to me right now, that's for sure. But yeah, I think a visual marker might be best. That way we can do it all. So yeah, I think I'm willing to part with some of this gold. Hell, if it means not getting lost in a spooky maze, it'll be worth the price of entry for sure.
And Mikey, which version of Minotaur did you take um, as your player character one? Did you take the one from Mordenkainen's?
What would the difference be?
Because that one has Labyrinth Recall, which would give you advantage on survival checks made to navigate or track whilst within mazes or labyrinths. To feed into that little bit about, the story about the Minotaurs and the maze and all that kind of good stuff, that is an actual racial feat.
That is not one that I took, that I have. So I must have gotten it. Oh, no, that's not right. Yeah, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Okay,
Ravnica.
okay.
That's where I got it from.
Heard. Just double checking.
Well, as long as we have something to lay out a trail, and if you guys would even let me lead, I think I could probably piece together where we've been, or at least have an idea if we've been somewhere before. Can't oversee the whole thing, but I could probably make a good map up here.
Ooh, that's a good idea. If you don't want to, mark in that spell book of yours, I'd let you kind of sketch out a map as we're walking on my in my journal.
Sure. Won't
Draw it
be
on my
pretty,
back,
but
bestie.
Doesn't have to be pretty; just got to be functional.
I can certainly do that.
Just got to be accurate.
Oh, well,
And
when it comes to recalling stuff, that's one of the good things I do have right now.
and Jove will fish out his leather bound journal, and he'll hand it over to you, Alder, for the second time. And as you go to grab it, Jove kind of keeps on to it for a second and looks you dead in the eyes and says, "Now, Alder, I know you're good with books, but I'm gonna want this back in good condition."
Understood, friend. Anything I would have wanted out of it, well, yeah, I wouldn't need to do much digging anyways. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, more worried about you accidentally setting it on fire than anything else. And I'll kind of
Hey,
throw an elbow into you.
I'll have you know this. I'll have you know this spell book didn't end up the way it was because I set it on fire.
Oh, sure.
Well, with that, so Alder, you will be leading the way, followed by Joe, followed by Virgil.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, without further ado, you descend from the terrace down towards the hedge maze, passing by the now twisted shrubbery and topiaries that once lined its beautiful walls. You walk up towards the entrance. Visibility is strongly diminished here. Without the moon shining down the tall walls, you'd have to assume that during the day, they're probably about 10 feet tall or so. But now they've grown even larger. They must be at least 15, 16 feet, as if years has gone by as they've grown out. Instead of nice straight lines that are presented during the day, you can see already, probably about 20 or so feet in, it twists off to the left and right in uneven paths. The thorns stick out, in some places 6, 7 inches in length, towards the entrance like a large maw of teeth. Alder, since you are leading the way, this is going to be a combination of skill checks, as well as other potential encounters, depending on how those skill checks go. You will need to succeed 4 of them to successfully find the Fidatav family crypt deep within the hedge maze. You may use whatever skills and abilities you would like, ranging from investigation, insight, nature, or survival. And if you choose to brute force it or use fire along your way, then it will require a athletics or an arcana check if you choose to use magic. So,
Okay.
How would you like to begin leading your party? And Alder, I am very much still aware of your keen mind and your ability to recall, which will aid in mapping.
Yes. Um. I mean, he's mainly going to, as they enter the maze, he's going to see, like, initially, does this thing break off into. Basically, we're going to follow it as it is for now, as long as it stays there. And then once it gets to a part where any bit of breaking paths, he's going to just make a mental note of each one as he sketches it out, essentially, onto the paper.
Then let's have this first check be, as you take your first steps into the hedge maze, an investigation check.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Okay. So yeah, that is a 23 for investigation.
A 23. Excellent first roll. You walk into the hedge maze, avoiding the sides of it. You follow the path for a bit before you come to your first kind of intersection. There's two paths that go, one to the left and one to the right. You look towards the path on the right, and you can see that it is heavily overgrown, barely enough space for even you, Alder, to slink sideways. It almost looks completely closed in some parts. The other path is more open, but as you're looking around, looking towards the ground, you can see that the more open path has a different texture to it. It looks less like a walked path and more like a small opening from the twisting of this new maze. While the path to the right is more narrow, it has more of the furnished ground to it. It doesn't look as overgrown, as if many have walked this path in the past.
And that's the one where it's like a tight squeeze to go through, or
Yes.
the opposite? Yes.
The one that is more open, more inviting, seems almost wilder by comparison as you're investigating and looking at the two grounds, kind of that. While one is more foreboding, it does imply that it is more well used.
Well, we got a little bit of tough terrain here, but based on the path, this looks like this might actually be part of the maze. Well, this one is a little deviating. We might need to take out daggers or something and kind of cut our way through a little bit here. It's gonna be a tight squeeze. Any objections?
No, I trust you. Jove will get out a hand axe to help clear away the brush.
All right, let's have, if everyone is pulling out such, let's have a Joe, since you've got the hand axe, go ahead and make this athletics. Alder, are you assisting with your own weapon?
Yes.
All
yes.
right.
He would pull out his dagger and help.
And Virgil, what about you?
I would just tear branches off.
Absolutely. Let me have Jove roll athletics with advantage since Alder's assisting you. And Virgil, make me a strength saving throw as you start tearing into these branches.
14.
14. Gotcha.
And 22 on the athletics. Thank you for the advantage.
Hell.
22. With the success of Jove kind of carving into these branches, Jove, as you're cutting into them, while the actual branches look dry and almost kind of withered, mostly containing thorns on them rather than the thick leaves you saw earlier in the day, they are much hardier than you were anticipating. It's like cutting through strong oak over and over, but with Alder assisting you and the strength of your arms, you're able to chop away the worst of it. Virgil, since Jove is so successful on this one, there's only a couple of branches you have to break out of the way to give yourself room. Had Jove been less successful, you can see ever so slightly part of the hedge maze start to curve towards you as you rip into it, get it towards that breaking point before it snaps. It almost seems like the hedge goes to grab for a hand, but you snap the branch off, clear the way from you, and you're all able to avoid grating yourself against these thorns as you move forward. It's one success.
All right. We continue on with Alder, keeping an eye out for any other openings in the maze.
Go ahead and let's make this one, we'll switch it on over to perception, Alder.
Okay. Passive 12.
Passive 12.
Can I help him with my sentinel shield?
You may indeed go ahead and roll advantage, Alder.
Will do. Nat 20.
Let's go.
Alder, as you lead your party out of this small enclosure of plant and thorns, you come across a dead end. It looks like you've hit a wrong turn, a snag. You begin to kind of start tracing your steps back as you're looking around. Virgil, with the extra heightened senses that your shield gives you, that kind of nearly 360, think very much like Neji from pre-time skip Naruto. It gives you kind of that sense around you of all things. You can see a gap towards the bottom of one of the walls there, where a walking path should be, but has been overgrown. You point that out to Alder, and Alder, you look down, and the path does indeed continue that way. It's just simply grown over. If you cut your way through, you should be able to continue on.
Jove, you mind helping me in doing the honors? Virgil, you can also break whatever branch we need.
Let's do it.
Jove, since you're getting the assistance, go ahead and give me that athletics check to try to carve through this wall of the maze.
That is only a 12, Captain.
Oh no.
Jove, as you are cutting through this, you find that same resistance, this time even stronger. It feels almost like the maze is pushing back against you. And as you're cutting down through part of the branches, a large piece almost snaps off above, and a large 2-foot piece of sharpened branch falls downwards. You're gonna take 3 points of piercing damage as it pierces into your hands as you're cutting.
Ouchie.
You may attempt once again to continue cutting through the branches.
I shall not roll garbage this time. Much better. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, that'll do. You pull your hand back, it's a not grievous wound, obviously, but a pretty deep cut. You can feel the splinters already kind of setting within your hand. You pluck a few of them out, focus that anger into the hand, and make a clean cut through. With Virgil breaking away some of the larger pieces to widen up the area, you see that it is correct. There is a path that continues through this wall. That is 2 successes. Alder. Go ahead. This would be a good place to map. So give me an intelligence check, just straight.
Just straight intelligence. Okay. That would be for 16.
16?
Because I don't think you add proficiency on that. It's just a check, right?
Yeah, just a check, just straight intelligence.
Yep. 16.
16. You confidently sketch kind of a like a point-to-point path as you go through and retrace the steps of the maze. You're feeling very, very confident, both on paper and in your mind's eye, that you could follow your path back out through the maze. Looking ahead, it seems to be a exceedingly long straight shot, much further back into the maze. This has been a lot of kind of lateral movements without moving much deeper into the maze. But as you clear through and look down, the path disappearing into darkness, you can see that it is a straight shot for quite some time.
And there's no other pathways, right? It's just this one that we see.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Alrighty. Passive 12.
It's 12. Looks like a straight shot. Likely more twists and turns deeper down the path, but having carved through, it does look like this is the straightforward path.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Stay alert, but let's keep going. So, yeah.
Go ahead and this one, I will need a nature check.
Nature, you say? Okay. Not bad at that, actually, because it is an intelligence one. Ooh, but a bad roll. That's a 9 for nature.
A 9. You continue down the path, Alder. It is indeed a straight shot, although it seems exceptionally long. You walk down this path for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, almost a whole 20 minutes. And as you've been walking through, I will say, Virgil, with your higher passive perception, you're the first to notice these buds start to populate the branches here. Instead of thorns, you see little dark, almost olive-like bulbs scattered throughout the branches. They're not moving. I mean, they seem almost completely black. They would be hard to pick out without the use of your shield, especially this late into the evening. But what worries you is that they begin to rumble. A small quiver as your party walks forward. It begins with 1, and then 2 or 3, becomes 6, becomes 12. And you can see that as you look behind you, hear ding, 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 as these small little bulbs begin to fall from the branches of the hedge maze. They begin to splatter onto the ground, making this part shattering, part almost acidic exhale as they do. As you can see, each one releases a strange, muted liquid as they begin to fall behind you, getting closer and closer.
We might want to pick up pace for a little bit. We are being followed by bad.
I agree. Let's hurry it up now.
You all begin moving forward at a faster pace. As you are moving now, picking up some speed, Joe, with your keen senses, you begin hearing it as well. The sounds of tons of these little buds beginning to fall from the branches, each one hitting the ground, that shatter noise, followed by that little acidic exhale. Um, the number of them is increasing. What was once kind of a few, almost like a pitter patter, is now turning into a solid, almost roar behind you.
Is it dropping like from something above us, basically? Then.
Go ahead, and I will say either roll nature or perception.
I thought that I had seen that there were bulbs inside the.
Indeed.
Okay.
Virgil, you did indeed see that. It's more for older's sake.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 22 nature.
22 nature. These appear to be some sort of growth from the hedge maze that have been disturbed and are now beginning to drop. Kind of like watching when you see someone knock over like a big wall of like a Costco or like one of those big warehouses where you knock over one part and all the items begin falling down. Or if you remember the scene from Order of the Phoenix, when they're in all the prophecies rooms and they begin to collapse. You're seeing that with these small blackened bulbs that are starting to fall off. And as they fall off, they're knocking more and more, starting to cover and converge onto your location.
I mean, we're running, right, at this point?
Yeah.
You tell me.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah. If that's incoming,
Yeah.
Move.
Let's rolling.
Let me have everybody make an athletics or acrobatics check, as this has gone from a let's speed this up to now we need to sprint, lest we either be covered or swallowed up by these bulbs.
18.
18.
Ugh.
It's a 19 acrobatics.
19. Jove.
I got an 8.
An 8. Jove, you need to make a dexterity saving throw as your party members begin sprinting. You kick it into high gear, but as you're running through, there's a number of branches and thorns sticking out from the sides that you're trying to avoid ripping into. You're starting to fall behind, and you begin to feel the shattering, almost acidic-like explosions falling behind you.
Catchphrase. Turned that into a dirty 20
Dirty 20.
for dex save, right?
So you are not knocked prone as a deluge of these bulls begin crashing behind you. It's almost like a small wave beginning to catch up. You feel bits of it strike at the back of your legs, Jove. Since you succeeded, you are not knocked prone, but you will take half damage. Alright, you take 1 point of piercing damage, and then you take 3 points of acid damage. As these bulbs explode behind you as you move your legs just fast enough to avoid being knocked prone by this ever-encroaching wave. You can feel that liquid that is expunged from these things hit the back of your legs and begin to burn. It feels almost digestive. It's this awful, think like open rotting formaldehyde sort of smell, that kind of preserved decay, like yawning into your face as the acid splashes the back of your legs. But the special dex, can I have everybody make me a Constitution saving throw as you continue to sprint?
Another catchphrase.
20.
20?
10.
10?
18.
18. You continue sprinting along, going as fast as your legs will carry you. Alder, you're able to maintain pace with your party, but you will take 1 level of exhaustion as you are moving out of the way of ever encroaching thorns and branches. It's becoming less of a straight path as parts of the walls grow in farther on one side, make almost kind of serpentine-like motions to get through. What once was a rather straight path has now become erratic, making it more difficult as you continue faster and faster through. Let me have everybody roll me a perception check.
Passive
14.
Passive 13.
Passive 13, passive 14. Alder?
Passive 12.
Passive 12. Yeah, you guys are moving as fast as you can. You haven't seen any exits off of this path or places that don't contain these little bulbs. I'm going to need everybody to make me another Constitution saving throw.
26.
15.
It's a pass. Whether it be the fear or your own personal physical conditioning, you're able to continue making pace, running through this. There's places now that you almost have to hop over growth on the floor to get over it. It's like large spikes beginning to protrude from the ground. Let me have everybody roll another perception check.
There we go. 18.
18.
Passive 12.
Jove?
Passive 13.
Virgil, you see your party members run by it for just a breath of a second, but you see in a shadowed corner a path leading off towards the left. And I'll say with your 18, it appears devoid of these bulbous plant particles. It looks like a way out. At least of this immediate danger.
I'll shove my teammates in that direction and then follow them there and just kind of post up my shield like a wall and just get behind it.
Yeah, give me a strength saving throw.
11.
11. You grab your party members and pull them down this path. You get in front and I believe pull out the shield to kind of fortify yourself as this wave of these plant particles come rushing in like a small tsunami made of plant material. You brace yourself up against it to hold back this tide and hopefully let the worst of it pass by you. But with an 11, that will not do as it washes past Virgil onto. I need everybody here to go ahead and make me dexterity saving throws.
21.
Success.
20.
Success.
10.
Fail.
Ring of evasion, then, please.
Success. All right.
Yay.
As these little wolves push past Virgil, with the success of everyone's able to stay on their feet and not be fully covered by these. However, some of them do almost detonates around you. You're able to keep the worst of it off of you and not have this surround your body and cover you when this effect goes off. So everybody will take, all right, 1 point of piercing damage. And on the DM, so I round up. So 2 points of acid damage. You can hear the sounds of this wave crashing further down. Sound of branches breaking, and more of these small little acidic-like detonations. But it trails off further and further in the distance. And you look behind you. And you see the path continuing deeper in. The branches here hold no sort of leaves or buds or extra plant life on them. They are stick thin, but more numerous, like the spines of many creatures woven together, sticking out. In some places, the branches are so thick that you could hardly get a dagger through it. It looks paler, more gray, almost more skeletal than the rest of the maze. The plants are more alien, almost. But the path does continue further in. Alder, give me an investigation check.
That is a 10.
You continue down this path, and you reach a dead end. You go down a second path, and you reach another dead end. Alder, go ahead and give me an insight check.
Unfortunately, that is a crit fail.
Crit fail. You trust your keen mind. You know that you can back this track up. Of course you have to trust your own senses. You've got that great spatial awareness, so just because you've hit these dead ends doesn't drive you even for a second. You back it up, go exactly where your mind knows you should be to get another crack at this section. Go ahead this time, make me a wisdom saving throw.
For the save, that's a 15.
A 15. Alder, you look towards the hedge maze walls. You've retraced your steps back to where you first found this kind of break before you ran into these dead ends, and you see a small passage, almost just big enough for your party to fit through. You feel compelled for a moment. There's been places you've had to cut through. Tight spots to squeeze in through the maze. All you have to do is squeeze through here. You feel your feet drag forward. You can't see the end of where this indent continues on, and Virgil and Jove, you watch Alder become fixated on this one point. Starts to almost bend his body in a strange, half bent forward with his head almost snapped up to squeeze into this area. And right as your skin makes contact with some of this skeletal-like wood, you feel a pulse in your left ring finger. A cold chill goes through your body, Alder. And you feel dread. And as you look deeper into it, you can just make out a completely pierced and twisted form. About 30 or so feet in, someone else has tried and been enraptured, like an awful, dry Venus flytrap. Their body is completely pierced and twisted from these various skeletal-like branches. And as you push back and shake your head and feel that cold, bring that static over you, you pull back and avoid going in.
Well, nothing good on that end. Not gonna follow that one. But the map's not making sense right now, guys. I know there should be an opening somewhere around here, but it's just kind of looping around itself.
Well, I'll drop a couple of these gold coins here, and we can, keep walking around. And if we see him again, then we know that we really are walking in circles.
Yeah, good idea. A little hard to think straight after all that running from me.
Let me have Jove. You go ahead and make me a nature check. And Virgil, would you make me a survival check?
Nature is a 14.
14.
Or
4. Virgil, this place is alien, awful, kind of spooky. Except more than spooky, absolutely spooky. And any path seems just as good as the next, as long as you don't go down the same path. Jove, you can't help but notice how dry these trees, hedges, whatever they are, seem. They twist and they bend, but they seem more like aged wood than something living. Yet, as you've been kind of going through parts of this maze, you know that it does have a certain life to it. That everything here in this awful place has this kind of almost malevolence to it. And you start making connection as you kind of look towards that hole that Older almost wandered into, that it seems most changed towards the corpse of that creature. You can still see skin and sinew, and the plant life there seems more alive, more flexible, pliable even, with this additive towards it. What you do with that information, I'll leave to you.
Well, this place is mighty strange. I mean, all the plant life here looks all blanched, almost like bones. But Alder, that hole you felt compelled to walk towards. I mean, it's the only thing that really looks different here, if you think about it. It's like there's, I don't know, something living, almost mouth-like in there. Don't think we should necessarily walk into it, but maybe it's worth poking with a stick.
Do you want to be the one with the stick on that one?
Well, I do. I am the one with the spear.
All right. I'll let you poke it, but I am gonna burn that thing down if it tries to snap at you.
Oh yeah, I'll settle for a javelin throw.
All right, Jove, go ahead and make me an attack with your javelin.
Make love, not war.
Oh man, I'm rolling hot guard. That is 8.
8. You throw one of your javelins in and it just bounces off the sides. However, you see that your javelin, whilst it is definitely in there, not enough to hit the fleshy body still in there, but the javelin doesn't get any response. It simply rests probably about 10, 15 feet or so inside. With a less than satisfying kind of clink.
And so this body that's in there, that's all intertwined or whatever, it looks relatively fresh.
Give me a medicine check.
Medicine is 14.
Yeah, it is. It's not skeletal like the bulls that you've seen. It looks like any number of the individuals who may have been dancing with you only an hour or so prior. It definitely looks aged, kind of like everything in this place, but I'll say with the 14 medicine check, what you recognize is that it still probably has some blood in it. Still maintains a lot of its viscera.
That body is pretty fresh. I know the lady was talking about somebody coming in here to steal the family jewels or what have you, but all right, maybe I can throw one more javelin in there before I start going poking around with something a little closer.
Is this person dead?
They haven't made any noise. Haven't moved. And I'll say with the 14 on medicine, they should be dead. Absolutely should be dead. But this is a place there. Things that should be dead aren't always still dead. But with that 14 medicine, they're not moving. You don't see any signs of breathing. They haven't made any noise or even reacted to a javelin being thrown relatively close to them. So you think they're dead.
That's good enough for me. I'm gonna go draw some blood. Get my vials filled back up.
Yeah, let's start with Joe. Go ahead and give me the throw for the javelin.
There we go. That's 25.
25. Yeah, this time your aim is true, and it pierces into the corpse deep within this entryway. And you can see bits of remaining blood begin to leak. And you can see as the blood hits these kind of branches, they take on a ruddy red color. You could see that they move, shake. Some grow. They become more supple, almost, like new life is breathed into them. And instead of this rigid bone-like structure, they seem more like veins. Virgil, you said you were drawing blood?
Yeah, if I can start walking towards it.
And are you walking towards the corpse?
Yep.
All right, you got it. It would be, you see, then I'll say, you all kind of see this happen as Joe throws in the javelin and the blood begins to fall onto these branches. You see the reaction these seemingly plant-like structures make. Virgil, it's going to be a difficult maneuver for you to get in there, but it can be done. It's more of a brute force on this one. So go ahead and once throw me athletics.
25.
Oh yeah, absolutely. you wedge and push and get yourself all the way in there. And as you touch the kind of now ruddied branches, you can feel them sag, push. The entrance of this, the driest part, you would say, is hard, rigid, almost more like stone than wood. But as you get to this new area, the branches move out to the side. You can almost push through them, like that one area in Disneyland with the rubbery bars on the jail. So you could take a photo, it looks like you're opening it up wide. It's almost that consistency, and you feel a pulse within the branches, like very much a vein or more
Does this
akin to-
remind me at all of our time out in the cold when we were about to take shelter in that briar hut, and then it turned out that it was eating people?
I will say it feels very similar. Less animated here. This feels almost more... Roll me Arcana. This is going to be an Arcana check.
I'm really good at that.
I know
I'm actually
you are.
better at Arcana than I should be. Bad rolls don't help though. That's an 8.
I'll say with an 8, this feels far less predatory, I think is the word here. You're not great when it comes to magic and weird things that go against nature, all things considered. But as you're, by this corpse, watching this kind of blood reinvigorate these things here, you look at this corpse, and you can see that it is not the branches that have pierced into this, which is causing the blood to flow. Of course, there's Jove's javelin. But you notice that the main points of the blood here are stemming from the ears, the eyes, the orifices of this person. That they look like they wedged themselves in here and then started to bleed from the eyes and the ears. That's where the damage is. Jove's javelin is opening up more of the chest, allowing for this kind of pliable nature of the wood to move forward. And as you're kind of looking through with your passive 14, you can see there is another side of this entranceway that pushes out onto another path in the hedge maze. It's all alien, and the wood becomes more and more like flesh the longer your hands are on it. Say what that 8 in Arcana gives you.
Then yeah, I'll remove the javelin and in the open wound just kind of hold the vial up to it.
Yeah, you get a vial of dark, seemingly kind of murky blood. I'll say with Jove and Virgil, with your monstrous senses, so to speak, the blood does smell rather fresh compared to many of the other things you have fought in the past. Those that are fully necrotic. It doesn't seem like it has any sort of necrosis on it so far.
And for the sake of cleaner note keeping, can I mark this down as just another blood soup, or is this going to be something that has special things that you want me to keep track of later?
Yeah, no, you could go ahead and put that as a blood soup.
Thank you. And then I will toss back the javelin, not as a throw, but like as a lateral toss.
Yeah, you can slink it back.
Come on in, the weather's fine.
Well, I guess so.
Not a whole lot of other options at the moment.
Yeah, I'll just say, Alder, keep your hands at the ready.
I'll try not to burn the whole place down with it.
Hey, that was my theory from the start, so you don't see me. Well, I would complain now that we're inside.
Well, yes, now it would be a bad idea.
Kind of like I told you so. Should have just done the burning thing.
So, Virgil, you're leading the way. The first obstacle to get to the other side of this is the corpse itself, blocking your path.
Mhm.
How do you get rid of it?
How is it blocking my path?
Imagine that this individual who came in before you, this is less of like just shuffling, like where you're at this far into this entrance, you're almost in like a crawl position.
Okay.
And then tucked away in almost like this crescent moon is this kind of corpse that is stuck in here. However, as the blood touches it, the wood here, it can be pushed and moved. It loses its stone-like rigidness, allowing you more room in this spot than you were at the beginning.
So is it like is it being held by branches or is it like pierced or what?
That's the weird part is it's not actually pierced. It seems just held here almost. Virgil would and now that you guys are kind of in it, you can see that the main there's no like big piercing twisted. While its body is definitely in a not correct position, what you notice is that the older blood, not the stuff that is kind of dripping from Joe's javelin throw, it's from the eyes and the ears. As if it started to bleed profusely from something. And then was stuck in here.
Well, can I push it out of the way?
You can attempt to push it forward. Go ahead and make me an athletics check.
Can I get help?
In this space, no.
Well,
12. You begin pushing it forward, and it kind of squelches almost. As you move it, probably about 6 or 8 inches in. Its body is limp, but it's not doing you any favors on it. As you get to kind of the next section of this tunnel of branches, the way the wood is formed and shaped, it's too rigid right now. It won't push any farther. You would need to either create an opening or get the wood to move.
Want me to give that wood a little chop with my axe?
yeah, I guess so.
Jove, you move in position, trying to get around Virgil. It's very difficult in this space. There's not a ton of movement here. The dry wood is the equivalent of stone. Go ahead and make me an attack on the wood. See if you can chop some of it.
Jesus Christ. 11.
11. You chop into it, Jove, and it's like hitting a metal bat against a metal pole. Bing! You feel that reverberation shoot down your arm, like hitting your funny bone.
Can I, from my wound on my hand where I got pierced earlier,
Yes.
can I, like, unwrap it or whatever and take some of that blood and kind of, like, smear it around uh, this stone vine to kind of give me a place, if I'm thinking this through correctly, to chop through.
You smear your hand across the branches, and they become supple. Um, you feel that same kind of pulse in, and you drop your axe into it. Go ahead and make this roll with advantage.
That is going to be a 23.
Um, your axe slices through, and as it does, you see the plant open, and dark black ichor falls from this wound you have inflicted. And you can feel this almost shudder through this structure that you are pushing yourself through. But where you've cuts as easy as you would cut somebody's hand with a full axe chop.
Okay. I guess, like, how many branches are kind of stuck into this individual that's impeding us?
I would say to make this, to cut your way through, you come to the conclusion that you'll need to add blood to make it cuttable. And to go through, there's probably another 20 or so feet away to get this individual moving and grooving. You probably need to cut about 3. The problem is, Jove, is that the wounds on your hand is starting to coagulate and scab over. You're gonna need some fresh blood.
He's willing to take the kind of the blade of the axe and just kind of like aggravate that wound a little bit. Obviously not trying to like crazy hurt himself, but he sees what needs to be done, and so will inflict whatever necessary damage to himself to get the blood flowing. And
What's your strength modifier, Jove? 16?
yes.
All right, go ahead and take 3 points of slashing damage. As you get this going, some of the branches are thicker than others, requiring more blood. So we'll just say, let's add your strength modifier to it, and you're able to keep the wound moving forward. I'll have Jove go ahead and make me an athletics check with advantage.
Nice. That's 18.
18. Yeah, you're able to cut away through these branches, freeing up kind of this individual so that you can almost kind of squish them to one side of this and allow your party to pass through.
All right, boys. I think that should do it. At least we know now that if we run into something like this, it seems like blood is what softens it up. It's kind of strange, though. It's not like chopping through wood. It's like chopping through flesh. So whatever's feeding down here is some sort of eldritch horror, I think, but it's not exactly surprising. And he'll kind of like wrap something up around his hand to stem the bleeding.
Yeah. The 3 of you are able to push towards the exit of this awful tunnel. Joe, with your hand bandaged, you now see that the whole of the maze is similar to this kind of alien skeletal structure, but the paths here have small sets of stone in them. There is the remnants of old service in this area. And a singular stone bench, although it is old. Whatever plaque was on it is now heavily tarnished. But you do seem to be in a much deeper part of the maze. How would you all like to continue forward now that you found yourself in this new spot?
Map boy.
Oh, map boy.
We shall investigate our new surroundings then.
Let's see it.
13.
13. You begin looking around. The bench is a good sign, Alder, that you've made progress, but you also know that likely this is a kind of a false victory. A place where somebody might be fooled into thinking they found the center, but this is not your objective. You see a couple of different branching paths. Nothing indicates that one is a better choice than the other. You instead feel like you might just need to brute force this part forward.
Then brute force it we shall. We'll continue on.
Indeed. Go ahead and everybody give me a perception check.
Passive 12.
Passive 12.
Passive 14.
Passive 14. Jove, with your heightened senses of smell and sound, hearing, you catch the whiff of gold. Gold ravens, to be exact. It's not a smell that you would have been able to pick up in the past. Gold smells like gold. Doesn't really have this one, but gold ravens here have this acrid tang to them. You've smelt it on your party members, and it's easy for you to smell the difference. And as you are about to head towards another split in the maze, you smell a ton of those kind of gold ravens wafting with just the slight smell of decay on the other side of a wall. It's that same alien-like white branches, but on the other side of this is something with a lot of gold ravens.
Hold up, fellas. That my nose caught something. I think behind whatever this is, might be a cache of gold ravens or something. I don't know. I've noticed it since we got here. These gold smells different than what we got back home. For it to pierce through and hit my nostrils, gotta be something worth at least investigating here. And to be clear, is it the same like vines, like stony vines that you were talking about?
Indeed, the same ones that you had to bleed and cut your way out of through the tunnel. It's that same structure. Although they have these kind of bulbous openings. There's nothing on the inside, but it almost gives the appearance of like a field of eyes or very much the Otsuki Trees of Life for those of us who are Bards Twin Vortex fans.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I think we're gonna have to use some more blood to get through there.
yeah, I think so. I think that's the only way to get through these motherfuckers. I'm willing to bleed myself a little bit more, especially if could be something important here. I don't know. It's my nose, so I'll go for it.
All right,
He'll
I'll get you back.
unbandage the hand, and if he needs to, he'll aggravate it again to smear the blood and do the chop chop.
Yeah, Jove, it's the first couple feet or so of getting through this wall. Your previous wound is more than enough, but as you keep going, you're getting less and less blood. Go ahead and do 3 points of damage to keep the blood flowing.
Keep the blood flowing, Joe.
Keep it flowing.
And then go ahead and give me an athletics check. As you are, think real like a lumberjack and an explorer from Adventureland, all thrown in together. You're hacking, you're whacking, you're slashing.
That's a 23.
23, more than enough. Consider that the final success. As you cut your way through, you reach the other side. And as you look around, you can see that this is the most adorned area of the maze that you've been to so far. There are multiple benches set up, almost like a small theater. They are cracked and gray, but you can see old, faded, gilded legs on each one of them. They seem to be adorned in that same kind of gold raven gold. All of it smells incredibly acrid. Looking across past these theater-like seating of benches, you see a weathered stone building in the shape of a cross. It stands at the very center of this clearing. You can see old, overgrown garden beds on each side. Tons of gray and mottled flowers with odd splotches have completely overtaken what once would have been a beautiful flower garden, at least 100 feet across or so. However, whilst this area does seem overgrown and aged, it doesn't have any signs of chaos or combat. It looks like it has been, besides the plant growth, left alone. And as you look at the building, you see, unadorned with decor, save for the word Fedatov in solemn block lettering, and where there should be a door is a thick stone slab with no apparent hinges, and in the center is a depression about the size and shape of like a kite shield. Same exact size and shape of the sigil you've carried with you.
Well, I think we found it, boys. Let's go ahead and put it on in there.
Real quick, but before we head in, I hate to use this now, but I think I'm better off. I lost a little blood there, and so he'll reach down to his ring of the dryad, and he'll pluck a petal and use that for the 2d4 plus 2 healing.
Absolutely.
Healing for 7.
Healing for 7. You got it. Here's to back the 2 exaggerated wounds you did on your hand, and a little extra. But yes, you have successfully found yourselves in the center of the hedge maze, outside the crypt of the Fedatov family.
Before we throw that key in there, can we do a quick bio break if that's
Yeah.
okay?
We'll take a quick bio break, take a quick 5 minutes. Meet back here.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Back.
Do we have everyone in attendance?
Yeah, I believe.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, we return back. The slightly overgrown but rather pristine garden here in the center of the hedge maze, outside the crypt of the Fedatov family. How would you all like to approach?
On foot.
On foot, of course. Gotta get your emissions
Word.
lower. See the Barovian sky. You go
So
to
you
the...
got the sigil, right? So
I do, yes.
let you do the honors.
I will walk up and attempt to place the sigil in the hole.
Yeah, you place the sigil in the depression, and you hear a satisfying click. As the stone slab yields, it breaks right down the center with a little glow. This kind of golden gold lines appear on the outsides, outline the sigil, and the sigil breaks in half as both sides open up. there is a an exhale from the crypt. And you smell stale, pungent air. Sort of dampness begins to emanate. The crypt is open.
Before we go on in, Virgil, I feel like better safe than sorry, and want to keep Shield up on his feet. And he will use a first level slot to cast protection from evil and good on you.
Well, if you're going to be casting spells on me, do you want to put anything in my spell ring, or are you trying to keep some of that energy for yourself?
Uh, TM, I don't know if we've explained like exactly how me putting the spells on there works. Like, do I have to use a charge of my own, or is that like something that has to be done at the end of the day?
You can put in spells as long as there
Whenever,
are.
as long as there's openings for it.
Yep, as long as there's opening the spell slots, you can
You
expend
just have to be
your
touching
spell
the
slots.
ring. Yeah, you just have to be touching a ring and like just cast the spell on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you expend the spell slot, it moves from your person into the ring of spell storing, as long as it has we'll say the memory for it.
And it can hold up to 5, I believe.
Yes, haste and 2 shields is what you gave me last time, which would be 5.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do any combinations of that. 5 first levels, 1 fifth level, 4th and first, so on and so forth.
I don't have
However,
as-
just a heads up, if you expend a spell slot on it and it doesn't have enough charges, you just lose the spell slot.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I don't have as much fun stuff to play with as far as spell slots, but
If you're limited on spell slots, you can save them.
I mean, some of these would be worth it though. Yeah. He will give you
Anything that would be super cool to cast up close and personal, but you really don't want to be up close and personal. Some, there's a big old beefy boy over here who's got 2 thumbs, and it's me because I have opposable thumbs.
True.
wrists.
You do get to just do the thing that I don't always get to do.
I get to live out every wizard's dream.
He's a minotaur. He just has hooves with one bendable thumb on the end. It's fucking crazy.
I'm just looking through here.
While they're doing that, can I check for traps as we opened this thing?
Give me investigation.
What are you, an ex-ranger? Got him.
This guy.
It's a 17.
You taste the joint, so to speak, and it looks pretty clean, Jove. It looks like no one's been down here for quite some time. Instead, looking at it, you don't see any like tripwires or pressure plates.
Pressure plates. That's
And
the
you-
main thing he was looking for.
Yeah, and looking through it, it passes your check, and you likely think that it would be very difficult to get in here without a lot of really specific knowledge from the Feedatov family. If you managed all of that one, you're feeling pretty confident you're in the clear.
Sweet.
Alder, are you adding any more spells to the Ring of Spell story?
I am. I'm gonna give you a couple fun ones for yourself, Virgil. He will onto the ring. He will give you Agnazar's Scorcher and protection from evil and good.
Um, evil.
I do want to save some slots for me, but I will
Yeah.
give you a couple.
So I'm assuming with that protection of evil good, you're not casting it on me now.
Yeah, we can just put it into the ring for
Okay.
yourself to use.
And then I'll hold on to it until we're a little bit
Yeah.
deeper.
Yeah.
Okay. I will look those up while we handle the next things.
Absolutely. What's your marching order heading into the crypt?
Me first, since I have the protection, I guess.
You got it. Virgil, then.
Or does Joe want to go first so he can actually see?
Yeah, Jove does like to be able to see. I think we do the alder sandwich either way.
Okay.
So yeah, since Jove was kind of casing out the joint while you guys were doing that, he feels
Yeah.
confident to lead in.
And I will say that this is not a thin entranceway. These are some massive doors, so you can be side to side on this relatively easily.
And then all their sandwich laterally.
Hell yeah.
You were almost an alder sandwich.
I will say it's not that wide. It's 10 feet across.
We'll hold them on our shoulders. Our
I
very
will-
even shoulders.
I was about to say, I'm like, so he gets one leg on Jove and hikes the other one up on top of your shoulders. It's like the Scarecrow from House Moving Castle.
There was definitely a Power Rangers episode where like the Dragon Zord fought like 3 just tall dudes and like 2 of them held one of them up on their shoulders. That's what I imagine here.
Then I guess you two, and then I'll cover the backside, as I do.
Heard. So Jove and Alder next to each other heading down with Virgil bringing up the rear. You descend into the Feetotop family crypt. Gold lamps spring to life as you enter. The Feetotop family crypt is surprisingly understated considering the magnificence of the manor house. Stone sarcophagi line the walls, each bearing a simple gold nameplate etched with the name of its occupants. Although you immediately recognize many of the scions that you read through in the library. You see a plain stone altar stands on the far side of the room, and something glitters beyond the altar. The entirety of the back half of the room is piled with treasure. Gemstones, jewels, thousands of ravens, and even a fine suit of plate armor. But something feels off. The treasure seems indistinct. Like looking at the reflection of something across water. It's filling the space, but almost seems intangible. Go ahead and everybody give me a perception check.
22.
22.
16.
16.
12.
Virgil and Jove, looking around, you can see a number of these sarcophagus and the likes. Nothing seems particularly out of place besides this vast amount of wealth in front of you. But you do see that the altar has a depression the same size and shape as the one on the door.
Virgil, you might try putting that sigil or what have you into the that stone table up there. Looks like it's got a similar depression than had on that there table. Maybe we can, I don't know, see what happens.
All right. Just make sure the fire boy has his hands ready, and he takes the sigil and he holds it over the table.
Yeah, the crest locks into place as you place it onto the altar. You see the treasure begins to glow, becoming more and more substantial, like it's gaining density. And moments later, it fully manifests before you. It's gleaming, glittering. It's beautiful. So astonishingly beautiful. As the three of you lay your eyes upon the Fedatov family wealth, can I have everybody make me a wisdom saving throw?
No. that work?
Nerds.
Got him!
I never thought the players could just tell me no.
See, you made the mistake of saying saving throw, which means my die rolls below a 6.
Well, I got a 5.
I
7.
got 17.
7.
Alder, you feel that same wave of cold, static energy wash over you, like being dipped into a frozen lake. It grounds you. You feel a temptation that you haven't felt not since your time as a warlock of a different patron. That same enrapture. But you feel the cold, calming presence of your patron hold you against this enrapturing effect. Jove and Virgil, this is by far the greatest haul of wealth you have ever witnessed. The implications of this amount of wealth is huge, life-changing. And I'm going to need you both to roll me a d10.
Ocho.
8,
5.
5. Jove, you Scrooge McDuckian style dive at this treasure. It is, and it's glorious. You give yourself a full golden shower, and I'm gonna use that term.
Gross.
As you toss up these gold ravens, you see a crown and put it across your head. You put your hands into a thing of rings and pull them out, and you're covered. Each digit must be at least in 2 or 3 apiece. You are surrounded by more gold than you've seen in Molemaster, in Flan, back in Featherdale. An absolute stunning, and it is exactly what you deserve after everything you've done and had to work for. Virgil, you cannot tear your gaze away from the beauty of this. You watch enamored as Jove sinks himself into it, almost up to his neck in gold ravens. His hands out like he's sitting in the most comfortable bath you've ever seen. Mechanically, you both are currently enraptured. You may take no reactions. And at the start of your turn, you roll a d10 to determine your actions. At the end of your turn, you may perform the saving throw once more. But as Virgil and Jove are enraptured by the Fedatov family fortune, Alder, you're the only one of sound mind to hear the calling card. Of Lady Fedatov, as her ghostly figure floats through the back walls, floating ever so slightly above the treasure. You see her ghostly form gasp as Jove continues to bathe in the wealth, as Virgil stands completely fixated. How? It does not matter. I see he was too cowardly to come himself, so he sent you to do this work. You may be skilled thieves, but this ends now. I gave everything to protect this. Everything. And I shall not allow the likes of you to take it from me. And she reaches into the gold, her hands passing through. She shoves both out, and like gold dripping wings pulls her hands as the coins glitter and drip to the floor, condensing, coalescing into glittering gold as it rises up and crashes down with the force of thunder. The suit of armor jerks to life. The lids of the sarcophagi begin to tremble, as if even the ancient bones of the Fedotovs rise up to defend their former wealth. And I'm gonna need everybody to go ahead and roll me initiative.
All right.
I believe that is an ability check, so I got disadvantaged on that, correct? For
Indeed.
initiative. Okay.
Alright, click on over Discord, tell me true. And you know what? Before I write initiative, I have a map for you all.
A map.
A map. A map. A map.
A map, you say?
Indeed. And then for the initiative. Oh, Jove.
Yes, sir.
Alder, what's your dexterity score?
It is a 12, so +1 modifier.
Plus 1. Let's see.
Damn, not the sad Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I knew
course.
immediately. I was like, my heart is feeling it.
Can you roll me a d20, Alder?
Yes. That's a 4.
4. Gotcha.
I think you won that one.
Pretty hard to beat. I don't know.
Mhm.
Guess
We're
we're
going
gonna
off
have to
golf
find out.
terms right now, you know.
Alright. So, with the appropriate music in check. Oh, good meme. Let's talk about this map. The room from the doors to the opposite side where the treasure is being kept is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So it is 60 feet across from door to back wall. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 30 feet top to bottom. If a look, the altar that you placed the sigil into is that square to the right, the 2 dots on it. Virgil, you are standing directly to the left of that square. Jove, you are directly to the right of said square. You are currently in the prone position as you bathe yourself in wealth. Alder, I will say, let's have you 5 feet right behind Virgil as this apparition appears. Lady Fedotov is currently about 5 feet in the air above you, Jove. The piles of creeping coins are on the top and bottom square of the altar, have been thrown down by Lady Fedotov's specter. And in the very back wall, in between these 2 braziers behind the altar where the wealth is, you see this suit of armor come to life. And at the top, everyone clear on where they're at?
So when you said I was to the right of the altar, meaning I'm on like the south side of the map of that altar, or on the right close to the suit of armor?
On the right, close to the suit of armor.
Gotcha.
With Virgil and Alder on the opposite side from you, Jove. Lady Feetotob above you. Coins to the right and left, and the suit of armor behind you. As we switch from that, we'll begin at the top of initiative. I need... What's the opening move? Here's the opening move. Can I have everyone give me a wisdom saving throw?
At 20.
Pass.
Oh, bastard. 8.
12.
8, 12. So that is an interesting interaction. As Lady Feetotob's form twists, as the color fades from her eyes into blank white, almost a possessed expression, her skin becomes seemingly transparent. The fine dress that she once wore wisps away, becomes tattered, aged, and she lets her true horrifying visage out. Virgil, you said a 12?
Mm-hmm.
Meets beats. As you are more fixated on the treasure than Lady Feetotob's horrifying visage, Alder, your patron is the evening glory. If anything, this isn't horrifying, she's simply a lesser version of your patron. Something that is not to be feared, but embraced. But Jove, as you look up from your golden bath, the full rage and terror of Lady Feetotob gazes down on you. Her features stretch, an open, darkened mouth that hangs 2 feet down. You can see you could see the air moving into this form, preparing for a screech. And knowing that the full focus of this ire is now on you sends fear down your spine. You are currently frightened. So you are now frightened and enraptured. You will need to make 2 throws, one for enrapture, one for frightened, at the end of your turn.
Sounds good.
Which, funnily enough, that is her move. Now it is Jove's turn. Jove, at the start of your turn, please roll me a d10.
3.
A 3. Jove, you are locked in place. You want so badly to move away from Lady Feetotob, but you cannot bear to rip yourself from this treasure. You use your action to begin to roll around, trying to hide yourself deeper into the treasure. Effectively ending your turn, give me 2 wisdom saving throws. First on Enrapture, then on Frightened.
For the enrapture, 11.
11. And 11 that meets beats. As you pull yourself deeper into the gold coins, you feel that kind of animalistic nature jump up in you. The beast within you surges for a moment, and the ludicrous nature of this situation dawns on you. That you should not be bathing in gold, but you need to begin running.
Luda.
Go ahead. Give me the fear.
Fear, 13.
13. 13. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. As the beast goes from you need to leave, now becomes you need to fight. As you are no longer enraptured or frightened, but that will eat up your turn.
Or you're right.
Yeah.
Virgil, go ahead and roll me that d10.
Alrighty. 2.
2. You use all of your movement to move towards the treasure, as now you see Jove deeply entrenched. You have to do the same. You have to get in that treasure.
Sounds like where I would want to be anyways.
Exactly. And then
Do I
you
still get actions, or is that...
use your action to fall prone to join in the bath.
Okay.
However, go ahead and make me that wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn as Jove, you begin to get yourself out of this golden shower and you see Virgil dive right in next to you.
Gross.
Thank Gord Wayne. That's a 17.
Oh my god.
As soon as you see Jove, you look at him, your more monstrous nature coming to the surface. Virgil, you lock eyes with Jove and come to that same realization of the...
And then we kiss. Oh.
And then you
Whoa,
kiss.
whoa.
I mean...
What if we kiss next to the Top Fortune?
What if-
Golden shower.
+1!
Oh, no.
There it is!
Oh, no.
There's the full bit.
Oh no.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. Alright, as the enraptures and fear fall off of you, as the seriousness of the situation kicks in, we drop from Virgil down to Alder. You did indeed win that dice check, because I rolled a 1. So,
Oh,
it is now
wow.
Alder's turn.
Incredible. Okay, so where exactly is she placed on the map then?
She, Lady Feetatoff, if you're looking on it, would be, we're looking directly down at the altar. She is on the right
Yes.
side of it. She is floating 5 feet above Jove and Virgil. Since they are prone on the ground, she is hovering above them.
Gotcha.
So high
I imagine it's not too high up this room, right?
I would say it's easily probably about 30 feet tall. It is the sarcophagus, while it looks like they're flat on the ground, are actually propped up and stacked in a way. So it's not the tallest room we've ever been, but it was certainly a pretty big decline down into the crypt. It's long story long, 30 feet tall.
Okay. Yeah then. Alder, using a bonus action, is gonna take that form of dread again, as he almost like flickers into that kind of amber skeletal glow, and the evening glory kind of surrounds him again, almost with a screech matching the banshee screech from before. And he kind of raises his hand up towards the sky as he's looking up towards Lady Feetatoff. And as he goes to kind of make like a palming motion, the evening glory extends her arm with it as well, as it grabs onto just a shard of light hanging up in the air near where Lady Feetatoff is. And I'm going to cast Fireball 20 feet up into the air to catch it and avoid us, please.
Well, alrighty then. I need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, indeed.
Hi, Fireball. It's good to see you again.
It's back. It's back. It's here.
It is so back.
We are so back with the fireballs, lads.
She rolls an 8.
She rolls an 8. That does fail. So that is going to be 8d6. I need... Where did my... Oh no. I haven't had to use my full d6 dice bag. Gotta get all these bad boys back
Hooray.
out.
Got him.
How fun. We're all having... 8d6, here we go. Okay, so that is...
And I will say, since you're doing it to hit her, not hit the party, technically the armor is also in the way. So it will also need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Is it in, like, the sky, then? Or... Because I was
Since
aiming
it's-
it upwards, basically.
Yeah, since it's a fireball is sphere, and it's up
Yes,
against
yes.
there. I imagine that you're making it so it gets Lady Feetatoff and avoids your allies who are 5 feet beneath her.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so the armor's behind it and standing fully, so as it spreads out, I don't see how it couldn't... If you're centering it on her, it absolutely will hit the suit of armor behind them. So-
Very well, then.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I can ignore and not make the
Oh.
suit of armor
Oh,
do
yeah,
the...
no, roll dex on that.
I figured that might be your choice. But where you're positioning it in my mind, I don't see how the suit of armor could not be hit. Now, the coins absolutely avoid, because if it doesn't hit your ally, it's not going to hit them.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead. What's the damage?
So that is 31 fire damage.
You got it.
And also, I do, now that I took Form of Dread, I do need to roll a d10. I
For...
do get temporary hit points. Nice.
How did he get 69? Jesus.
It's a very powerful form of dread.
I heal for
so-
69.
Yeah, nice. No, I did get 10 temporary HP, though.
Ooh.
So that is very good, because that brings me up almost to a full heal.
And give me some flavor. How does this explode as you use a now Evening Glory powered fireball?
Again, like, I imagine it's like the fireball, it's less of like something being shot from him, but it's almost like he chooses kind of like an area, like a point that where like the glow kind of starts to form at. And it's almost like grabbing onto it, like it's like solidifying until it's a shard, and like he grabs onto it, or like the Evening Glory through him grabs onto it and shatters, and it just erupts with this light and flames flickering out of it, just ensnaring everything in that area.
And you see the suit of armor glow in that amber light. You can see a bit of steam kind of rising from it as the air in here changes with the heat of this strike. You see Lady Feetatoff's form engulfed by this. And you see bits of amber light whisking off of her form, as if the outside of her essence has been partially burned. And her eyes turn to you. Pupilless, scalaraless, completely white, but filled with rage.
She also needs to make a wisdom saving throw to avoid being frightened from me, since I choose her as part of the Form of Dread.
Indeed, you summon the Evening Glory to your side, and you leer, sending out that dread towards the specter of Lady Feetatoff, and she is unaffected.
I figured, but I also figured armor would be unaffected, so gotta check.
You know what?
Check.
Also, yes.
I was like, no one's gonna be feared here, but I might as well just mention it, Don't
Yes.
shortchange myself.
The horror of undeath is not effective on an undead creature.
We're both looking at each other like...
Yeah, it's
yep.
just a straight staring match. It's like stand versus stand, except this is a stand with no user. I guess the money pile is her user, and she's the stand. But, Alder, any movement from you?
No, nothing for me. Also, her stand would be cash rules everything.
Cream!
Green.
Mhm.
+1. Excellent. Excellent use. Good reference. Good use of said joke. Take your +1.
Thank you.
Moving on down is the suit of armor. Yeah, no, the suit of armor is going to, like the paladin from Honor Among Thieves, is going to paladin walk straight over the altar to you, Alder, having put a bunch of fire damage on it. Jove and Virgil, it is going to walk over you both. And since you are no longer enraptured by the gold, you do have your reactions again.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
Go ahead.
Same. 14.
No.
How about a 13?
Also,
Oh, wait, no, sorry, plus 6, 15.
Also
I don't know
no.
why I thought it was 4.
You both strike out against the armor, and it is a hollow animated thing. As your strike simply clink clink off the heels of it, it steps onto the altar, dropping down in front of you, Alder, and it will raise its great sword high and drop it down on you for 2 attacks.
All right.
You raise great sword.
Take your +1. That's a good reference as well.
Oh, I wasn't even fishing for that one, but I'll take it.
Alder, one of these is a 22, the other one is an 8.
The 22 will hit.
All right, Alder, you will take. You take 10 points of slashing damage plus 1 point of lightning damage. As you see, in the same color as Lady Fedatov's visage, that kind of gray-blue etherealness arcs from within the armor, moves down like a bolt of lightning through its arms. And as you strike, you can feel that bit of lightning damage imbued within the strikes. It cuts deeper. It causes your muscles to tense for the moment. But that's going to be its turn. So then we move on to the 2 piles of coins. And would you believe that there's 2 nice adventurers who are in the prone position right next to them? You're
Ooh.
each... One for... I know. One for Virgil, one for Jove. They get advantage on this because you are prone. Let's see. First one for Jove. That's going to be a 21.
A hit.
All right. I'm going to roll individual damage for you guys. Jove, you take... Oh, hold on. That's not nearly enough dice. This is the right amount of dice. Apologies. That's 4, 10, 14. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as a wave of gold ravens crashes on you. Then for Virgil, the same thing at the same time. That's a natural 20. Virgil, as these coins crush you inside the bath. Well, that's minimum rolls on those 3 of these 4 dice, so it's not great. So let's see, that is 1, 2, 3. But max on this one, 9. You take a flat 30 points of bludgeoning damage. As the coins begin to swarm and smother you, pounding away at your flesh, trying to crush you from all sides into this pile of wealth. We go back to the top with Lady Fedatov. As she is going to use her action to wail. Can I have everyone please make me a Constitution saving throw? As that same loud scream rips from her lungs, but being so close, seeing her full visage, causes it to drill into your minds.
That's a 15, Captain.
15.
17.
17.
18.
Oh, lucky, lucky. Those are 3 successes. However, this is a banshee whale. On a failure, you would have dropped to 0 hit points.
Oh,
But instead, you simply take... everyone's going to take 10 points of psychic damage. As her anger, envy, greed, her wrath, pride, her gluttony, all of the sins of her life wash over you in a single, almost haughty moment. It drives into your skulls, and you feel a wound not simply in your mind, but your very soul is violently shaken by this screech. But that is her turn, Jove.
all right. Jove will use half his movement to stand up. He will use his bonus action to rage.
Rage.
And then he is going to, I guess, fuck up some of these coins.
All right, go ahead and make your strike on the swarm of creeping coins.
And he's just doing these regular, so not reckless here. Ugh. First one is a 10.
No.
Second one. There we go. That's 25.
That will absolutely hit.
For 9 slashing.
9 slashing. Got it.
And yeah, he'll kind of stand there. Well, I guess not back to back with Virgil, but close to Virgil. If he needs to strafe it all to get close to back with Virgil when he stands up, he will do so.
You'll be back to back as soon as he stands up. Would be reasonable. However, Jove, don't you have 2 attacks? Don't you have extra attacks since you're level 5?
I did. I attacked twice.
That's right. My bad. Okie dokie. Gotcha. On your feet, a stab into the cursed coins. Now we go on to Virgil.
Mm-hmm. Friendly creature who can see or hear you. I'm a friendly creature that can see or hear me. I'm not going to do that this turn, though. Well, I am going to use my action to cast Protection from Good and Evil.
Gotcha.
Which I don't know what they were doing calling it Protection from Evil and Good, because that sounds a lot worse to say. It just doesn't feel right.
Seriously, yeah.
I just agree with you. Yeah, it should be.
Maybe somebody has it copyrighted. Maybe somebody owns Protection
It
from
could
Good and
honestly
Evil.
be something stupid like that.
Protection from evil and good.
But yeah, I cast that on myself. As much as I would love to stand back to back with you, I'm going to get out of the coins with the second half of my movement speed.
Got it. Where would you like to move to?
How big is this pile of coins, and where is the pile of coins?
It is so large, it literally takes up all of the back half, like behind the altar on the right. All of that is this large thing of coins. It is.
So if I just move to like the left side of the altar, it's fine?
Yeah.
Okay. I will go there.
Absolutely. It is going to attempt an attack of opportunity. Just regular roll, though. A 13 will not do. Keep going.
And then I will bonus action to Second Wind.
Beautiful. Anything else for your turn?
I used everything.
Perfect. Just double checking. Alder, your move.
Okay. So from what I understand, the armor is right on me.
Yes.
But otherwise, none of the enemies have actually moved during this. Besides that, right? Other than
No.
he's on me.
Yeah,
Or
he's the only one that has moved / needed to move.
/ needed to move. Okay. I gotta make use of what I got. We might just do another fireball.
Another fireball. Kadoki.
Another one.
Same spot.
Same spot. Running it back.
You got it.
I don't know how long I'm for this world, y'all, so I'm trying to do what damage I can.
I feel it.
Tough. She is gonna pass this time with a 19.
That definitely does pass. That's fine. Roll damage. Oh, and also, actually, well, she's the only one that can be hit here, right?
Yes.
In this, yes. Okay. I'll go ahead and bonus action also cast the hex on her as
Heard.
well. Yeah.
As you place the amber collar around the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll say for this fireball, if you permit, will explode from where the
Yes.
hex is.
That is like the source of the light that he's manifesting is on the collar. And I agree. It just expands from there basically and wrapped and captures her, you know.
Yeah, you've gone to more almost like a Roy Mustang, like where it's more like snap calling the magic rather than when you were with the Lost and Found, where you more like a Magnus from Black Clover, where like you're actually physically throwing the fire.
Yes. Now it's like it's apparating, yeah, like you said, Roy Mustang style, like where I want it to be.
Indeed.
In this case, on the collar. So yes, I like that. So I roll. Okay, so that is going to be. Let's make sure I counted all the right ones. Yes. Okay, so that is for 24 fire damage. 12.
4, gotcha.
Oh, that's for fire, and then that's for necrotic round down to 2.
Down to 2.
Assuming it does anything to her. I don't know.
Interesting. All right.
Things you love to hear your DM say.
Interesting. Gotcha. All right. I assume that's the end of your turn, Alder?
That's what I got.
Well, heard. It's now the armor's turn. As it you'll see the arm spins around at kind of the joint of the shoulder. And while the armor doesn't turn from you, Alder, it puts its hand back. And a bolt of that same bluish energy lashes out at you, Jove. Will 13 hit?
13 misses.
As it strikes up against the back wall. The same arm twists around and points towards you, Alder. Should have stuck with the sword. Will an 11 hit?
11 does not hit since he has the mage armor up.
That same energy spikes forward, and that kind of ghostly hand reaches, and like Uncle Iroh simply takes it down the length of a finger and flicks it to another portion of the room. We switch over to the coins. They don't have a ton of movement speed, but Jove, you're right there. Each coin's going to try to make it strike on you. But not with advantage, just regular rolls. 14, Jove.
The miss.
That's even lower. Not going to do. Now that you're on your feet, you can see almost bubbles appearing from the coins. Like they're shaped. Like when you're making a pancake and it like bubbles up underneath and it's just filled with more pancake. It's like that, but with gold ravens as they try to slam against you and you're able to move out of the way. That brings us back to the top with the Lady Feetatav. Yes, she is going to move away from you, Jove, and come around to come to you, Alder. Actually, she doesn't need to come around all because she has incorporeal movement, so she moves.
She just goes.
Yeah, she moves straight through the armor, through your body, Alder, and then ends up behind you. And is going to try a corrupting touch. Will 17 do, Alder?
It would do, but I will shield.
Smart man. As you are now sandwiched with Lady Feetatav behind you, the armor in front of you. We go down to Yov. You've got swarms of creeping coins on each side.
All right, he is. He's gonna go ahead and take a swipe on these coins. Before he does that, though, this hashed line on the map. What exactly is that again?
That is where it stops being covered in gold coins. That is, so it's thicker towards the back of it, but the whole bottom part here is also now lined with coins. So that's like the break wall for, well, you don't need to worry about it.
Gotcha.
Yes, so
Okay.
it's there. All of that area has wealth in it to show that it is literally 30 feet up and down by almost like 20 feet across. It's a ridiculous amount of wealth. Wittily ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah. He'll kind of look around, I guess, and see that he's alone in this sea of coins. Being a predator, he doesn't want to be outmatched here. So, yeah, he's going to try and hightail it towards Alder in the suit with 35 feet of movement. If I'm able to do that.
Sorry, I had my thing muted. You will take 2 opportunities of attack if you leave the area. All right, the first one was an 11, the second one's a 19.
Second one hits.
And you are raging, correct?
I am indeed.
Good. That will save you quite a bit of damage here. That is 5, 11, 17, 20. That reduces it down to 9 points of bludgeoning damage, Jove. But yes,
Okay.
you're able to get out of that space. And since you have 35 feet of movement, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, it would only take you about 15 feet of movement to get to Alder.
Wondrous. Yeah, so he'll do that, get to the suit of armor, and unleash a trio of blows.
Let's see it.
First, being on that 20, motherfucker!
Of course.
Let's go.
Let's go. Not even reckless. Here we go. Very good. That's going to be for 36 slashing, my friend.
Jeebus Murphy. Jove, do your strikes count as magical? Or is that level 6?
That's level 6.
Heard.
I don't want to hear you being too upset about 36. Only 6 more than you did to me.
Okay, so that's attack number 1. So attack
Gotcha.
number 2. Oh, so close to greatness. That is going to be for 25.
25. You got it. That will hit. Actually.
Nice. Another good roll. That's going to be for 14 slashing.
14 slashing. You got it.
And then we'll use the bonus action. The bonus action slice. Not as good. That is only 11.
11 will not do. And so I have 10 feet less movement, and I have disadvantage on my next attack.
Indeed, you do.
Heard.
And actually, let me double check. I think it might be until the start of my next turn you have disadvantage on attacks. Let me confirm.
Yeah.
Until the start of my next turn you have disadvantage.
Nice. Good move. All right. From Jove is
X.
Virgil.
Wait, that's me.
It is.
Well, I also don't know how long I am for this world, so I'm going to just turn around and I'm gonna start blasting. I'm gonna try and use my movement to line up the armor and the lady.
That will be impossible. With Agnar Scorcher? You've got Alder sandwiched in between them. And Agnar Scorcher's a straight line, 20 feet, correct?
Yes.
30 feet.
30 feet straight line.
5 feet wide.
Do it.
Yeah, you can hit both of them, but you will hit Alder in the process.
What about... oh, that's right. You're fucking fire genasi. You'll be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna blast all 3 of them.
You got it.
Curious
Alder.
for the DC, is that my DC?
It is your
Yes,
DC.
I looked
Okay.
at it. I was also curious about that. So I went into
I
my
was like-
magical item and I started reading it. So yeah, all the dex the saves are yours and the like attack rolls are all yours. But as far as like concentration and source and all that, it's me.
Gotcha.
And how long was that line? Did you say 20 or 30 feet?
30 feet.
30 feet. Well, 30 feet will definitely hit the armor, Lady Feeditov, and one of the piles of coins.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And of course, Alder. Alder, what's the save on this?
That is a DC 15.
That's
15. Oh my god, I was gonna guess
Good
14.
God.
that is 3 failures on my part. Nobody rolled above an 8.
Yes.
I will use a ring of evasion for my.
Let's go.
So
I was one short of meeting. Too bad. Oh well.
Damn.
That's a
Worth.
high DC, man. That's right.
It's worth though.
That's 4. I mean, that's 3 proficiency plus 4 intellect, so that's 15.
And then I'm assuming you cast it at 2nd level.
Well, it's a 2nd level spell, so
But you can upcast it into the ring. So
Yes.
it's whatever you cast it as.
it would
which
have
I'm-
it would have to be because you don't have 3
Yes.
third level spell slots.
Yeah, it was a 2nd level spell.
Okay.
So you would roll 3d8.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, not bad. 16 fire.
16 fire. Alder, that is halved, and then halved again. You take 4 points of fire damage.
Nice.
I know what you guys have, but do you also? You do not. Heard. So it takes it to. Okay. So that's 8, so that's 25, so that'd be 3. That would be. One of the swarms of creeping coins is liquefied by this. Virgil, give me some flavor on this one as you send this gout of flame through Lady Fedatov into Alder, through the set of armor, into this swarm of creeping coins as it heats up to the point of basically melting, becoming liquid gold.
Yeah, it's like a Green Lantern just sticking out his fist and shooting a laser beam out of it. It doesn't look like exactly like Alder's normal Agonizer Scorcher, but it really is like just a laser, and it just like pierces all 4 of them. As it's the only way he lines it up, he goes, "Sorry, buddy, but you are fire." And he just like lines his arm up like a cannon, like he's Barrett from Final Fantasy VII, and just
I love that.
and just zaps through all of them. Also, kind of like the Dragon Ball Z Piccolo laser.
Special beam
It's
cannon!
literally a
Yeah.
special beam cannon right from the ring.
Alder's holding them. Alder's holding them still, and I'm just blasting them.
You're fucking killing Goku.
And Alder, as the Agnazar Scorcher goes towards you, the Ring of Evasion activates you. Turn your body to the side, and you see the special beam cannon splits ever so slightly on both sides, wrapping back around you. You can still feel some of that arcane energy hurt you, but between your natural affinity to fire, it being your own spell, and the assistance of your magical ring, you're able to push most of it around you and let it continue straight forward into your opponents. Well, excellent move.
Now I'm gonna do not as good as a second wind, but the next best thing, as I am a friendly creature who can see or hear me. So I'm going to rally myself. And I'm just gonna be really proud of myself for that really cool beam. I'm just gonna like give myself a pound on the chest. And
The ring's still hot from your last attack.
give myself 7 temp.
Nice. Nice, Sue. Speaking of nice Sues, I believe that sent us over to Alder now.
Yep.
It does indeed. We're still sandwiched here. Not a whole lot of places to really run in this map. Pretty small. Yeah, we'll stick with the aggro. So, as Alder is kind of like pushing and trying to repel that heat, he's also kind of like what heat is still getting is still making contact with him. He's harnessing and holding it and bringing it back into himself, charging himself up again. As immediately after that beam goes through, he holds up his fingers again to make that field goal motion, as he will cast Burning Hands on Lady Fedatov. Please make another dex save for me.
It's going to be an 18.
18, she does pass on that one. Oh, and then need the hex die too. She is still hexed.
She is indeed.
So that is so all of that half, so that is going to be total 4 fire damage and 3 necrotic damage.
Gotcha. All right. As another gout of amber flame erupts from your fingertips once more. Anything else from you, Alder? Stand and deliver.
We're standing and delivering.
Well, that leads us to the armor and the single swarm. So armor. I mean, there's a Jove and an Alder. You're both taking one hit, but we'll be at disadvantage. For Jove,
Am I close enough to him to attack?
to the suit of armor.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
Disadvantage knocks that down from a 19 to a 4, Jove.
That's a miss.
And then Alder with disadvantage as well. That knocks that down from a natural 18 to a natural 2.
Oh no, sorry.
You know, it happens. Good feat. Good feat. Everybody here has really good...
Yes, Slasher.
I have to deal with Slasher. I have to deal with Keen Mind, so it's like, unless there's magical means, like, you can't get lost anywhere. I've got Sentinel on the other half of the fighting.
You know, Kyle, just imagine, in another world, I had Slasher more of her OG campaign.
Oh, man.
This is the shit you would have had to deal with too.
God.
Think of that next time you use Slasher. Okay.
Tom, even if you didn't have disadvantage, I could protection on Alder because I have fighting style protection, so there's that too.
Yeah.
True.
This is gonna be a bad time for me no matter what. All right, so there is the coins left.
Man, I'm just blasting.
Who's close? How much speed? Oh, they have more movement speed than I anticipated, but not enough to hit anybody. So they're gonna go after who they started off with. Use their action to dash. And they're gonna get themselves right behind you, Virgil. So the coins have come for you. But that's gonna be their whole turn.
Come.
For you! Which takes us back to Lady Feetov. Boy, she did not like that Agnazar Scorcher you just did. So she's gonna try to Corrupting Touch on Virgil. Just regular roll.
Does she move?
She has
through me or
disadvantage.
something?
If it's an attack roll, it's disadvantage because I have protection from Evening Bid. Unless
Oh,
she's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a
Indeed.
Faithing or undead.
Correctamundo. Yeah, no, that'll save you from the natural 19. Drop that down to a natural 2.
Thanks, Alder.
Well,
I gave you a thumbs up.
that is her move.
Although it is me concentrating on it, so who's the real hero?
So it's really,
Who's the real wizard now, huh? Yeah.
Yove.
Yeah, I'm just lucky I took all that damage before I concentrated on the spell.
No kidding.
So with the suit of armor still there, correct?
Indeed.
All right. He will use his action to attack. He's just going to do this regular style, not in a reckless manner. First is a 17.
17 against the suit armor?
Yes.
Miss.
Okay, the second. Ooh, that's a catchphrase. It's another 17.
That's gonna be a miss again.
And then bonus action. That is going to be a 20.
A 20 will not do.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah, you opened up with nat 20s and 25s. That'll do, but a 20 will not do.
Next thing you're gonna tell me that he's like made out of armor.
I know. It's because well, spoilers. We'll get there.
Get there. Yeah, with 3 whiffs, that'll be Jib.
Verge.
Hi, that's me.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna turn and hit the lady.
Let's see
To
it.
quote that one cat from Aristocats, "That's no lady, that's my sister." That is a 14 to hit.
Hit.
Nice. And then superiority die, maneuvering strike for Alder.
Alder will take his reaction. Um,
Now, this
He's-
does only give you immunity from opportunity attacks from the lady, not the suit of armor.
Yes.
Just
that
so
is
you're aware
true.
before you make that choice.
Yeah. Because the lady is still right next, right, DM?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he is gonna use that reaction to move about 10 feet, we'll say eastward or westward, yes. So go ahead and make
Absolutely.
opportunity.
That is. What's my added bonus to this? It's going to be a 17.
17. That is gonna hit.
Gotcha. 5. So you take 8 points of slashing damage, plus 5 points of lightning damage, for 13
5
altogether.
points.
Yeah.
13. Ooh. Alrighty. He is downed with that one. Dang.
As Alder goes to move, Lady Fedatov's attention is fully on Virgil, but the suit of armor, having successfully defended itself against Jove, will catch Alder as he runs with the slash right up the back. You can feel it cut from your lower back all the way to your shoulder. A strike of lightning like energy courses through you, Alder, and everything goes dark. And you once again find yourself embraced in that amber sarcophagus with your patron. Her hands intertwined with yours. I believe it's still Virgil's turn.
Yeah, as if the number was something special to us, I also do 13 magic piercing to the lady.
2 magic piercing. As if the number was special to us. Yes, you strike, and it feels unsatisfying as you pierce into something that is not fully there. However, you are starting to see Lady Fedatov's form flicker. She almost vibrates back and forth between her horrifying visage and her regular, unchanged form, becoming less opaque for moments before almost becoming completely see-through. She physically flickers in front of you.
I do it again.
Do it again.
Ooh. 24.
Yeah.
Superiority dice on disarming strike on her. So take that, as that's 10 magical piercing. And if you have anything that she would be disarmed of, she has to make a strength save.
Well, how do you disarm her undeath? Because that's going to be just enough. How do you want to do this?
Nice. Yeah, he's just doing what his like instincts are telling him, and his battle instincts are telling him over and over again to disarm, because that's what he has been taught to do. So as if she was holding a weapon, he goes to kind of just like smack the forearm and just like stun the hand and make it drop whatever it's holding. But in smacking her arm out of the way, sees an opening in her torso and just rotates the pick and just brings it right back into the torso and just slams her to the ground.
And with a small explosion of that blue and gray energy, her undeath does not end with a loud screech, but a quick exhale before her form dissipates entirely, and you can feel a rush of wind pull towards the back door and be almost forced back out. Lady Fedatov has fallen. leaving only the suit of armor and the creeping coins left.
He's going to turn to the suit of armor, puff some hot air out of his nostrils, and make an action surge.
Indeed.
He just downed my boy.
That it did.
Hmm.
The Scorcher was still worth it, even if it got me down. Don't worry.
If I'd known that you were that bad, I would have given you my temp HP last round.
It's okay. I played a ballsy move there.
I would have given them to you before you moved because I still have my bonus action.
I thought I had maybe just to tank it, but 15 was just enough to take me down. Oh well.
Yeah, the damage dice proved that that was not true.
Yep.
Indicates that was a lie.
Michael is deciding as Virgil if he thinks that bludgeoning or magical piercing is going to be better against a suit of armor. He knew that magical weaponry would be best against a spirit, but giant suit of armor. I think I'm still going to go piercing. All right. 15 does not do.
15 does not do.
Neither does a 16.
No.
I didn't hit it, so I can't use my horns. But I can go do something. No, I guess I'm just not going to use my bonus action. Yep, that's it.
You got it. And that takes us to Alder. I need a death saving throw.
Sure can do. That is a pass with an 18.
Yep, one success. And that goes to the armor and the coins. The armor is going to make one strike against Jove, one strike against Virgil.
And I'm going to attack it in return.
Got it.
Actually, I'm going to make it have disadvantage on Jove.
All right. Well, Jove.
If it doesn't already, does it already?
It does not have disadvantage.
Okay. Then yeah, disadvantage on Jove.
All right. First
Since
roll.
I know my chances of hitting it are a lot lower than the effectiveness of a disadvantage.
Well, disadvantage, that is a 16 and a 19. So Jove, 16.
16 hits.
16 does hit. You got it. That is 3 points of slashing damage. That has been reduced, and 1 point of lightning damage.
Excellent.
And then it's going to try to make an attack on you, Virgil. Regular roll for this. Regular roll. Nope, that's not going to do. That is only an 8. And then,
yeah, no, that doesn't hit.
but the coins behind you will make their attempt. That is a flat 19.
Yeah.
Yes. That's Virgil. How much hit points does it have? Oh, untouched. Untouched. That is 3, 4, 9. That is 9 points of bludgeoning damage. Lady Fedotov is down, which takes us to Jove.
Gotcha. He's pissed off that he hasn't been able to get purchase again on this suit of armor, so he will make this set of attacks recklessly. Take the advantage here.
Indeed.
I passed my concentration check.
Her-
Just want to get that in.
Perfect.
First one's a 20.
20 will not hit.
Second one's a natural 20.
That will hit.
That's going to be for 36 slashing.
36 slashing. How do you want to do this?
Oh yeah.
Just a normal 36 slashing.
Just a normal-
What?
Yeah,
To
Wait.
see it.
That means you rolled the exact same as you did last time.
I did. Yeah. I mean, in different ways, but I did.
Yeah.
For
I
72.
did,
For 72 in crit damage.
What?
Job, you alone, not including any of the other damage, did nearly 80% of this thing's health.
That is insane.
I'll say every attack has been kind of at the the convex of this breastplate, and he's just been like denting it, and finally that last attack he like punctures through, and then he gets both hands in there and just like can opener style, just like rips this thing to shreds with kind of like ribbons of tin or metal coming off of it.
Oh,
Shreds, you say?
yeah, just shreds through this plate armor completely. And as you rip open, Job, there is a release of that bluish gray lightning. It shoots out almost like a blood splatter around, the bolts striking out in random directions. And as that energy is released, what was holding this thing together collapses, and you are left with the ripped open chest plates, while the arms, the legs, the helm, and this great sword clatter to the ground.
Not satisfied with that alone, he'll go over to the pile of coins for the bonus action attack.
Let's see it.
That is going to be a 23.
A 23 will hit.
It's going to be for 10 slashing.
10 slashing. Let the ripping and the
And-
tearing of coins begin.
Yes, sir. And that's it for Jove.
Virgil.
Are the coins Fey Fiends undeads?
They are constructs.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up.
Of course.
But they are all that's left as far as enemies?
Yes.
And is it just the one pile, or is there like multiple piles around the room?
Just one. Well, there are tons of piles of coins and wealth. The only animated one is right at your, is right behind you.
The only currently animated one. Yeah, if there was more, then I was gonna pick up Alder and get him to a safer spot of the area here. But if there's just one, I'm just gonna take out my warhammer and do a little forging, if you know what I mean.
Yup. Yeah, I do. Go ahead. Get started.
11.
Will not do.
Yeah, that should. 19.
That will do.
Sure. Superiority die. Maneuvering strike on Jove. No, on Alder.
Perfect. Perfect.
Alder, get up, boy.
Come on.
Jesus, that's a lot of damage. 18 bludgeoning.
18 bludgeoning. How do you want to do this?
Yeah, he smacks down with his warhammer, and it just makes like a thin sheet of gold, and you can like see kind of outlines, kind of like when you have those chocolate coins as a kid, but then you like sit on them in the car on the ride home, and you like when you get up, it's just like there's all the foil is kind of just like blended together. It's like that.
But made
Because
out of gold.
they got heated with the Agonizer Scorcher, and so they were overheated, and when he smacked down the hammer, it just squished them.
And as the coins fall, smushed and flattened, I would typically end combat, but what's the rest of your movement, Virgil, since we have a player down?
once I squish those coins, I would head on over to Alder,
Gotcha. And then
and I don't have any action left, so I would, with as much movement as I would have left, just drag him away from the big pile of coins, just in case anything else decides to animate.
he doesn't weigh very much. You're a very strong person. Easily done. Alder, go ahead and give me another death saving throw.
Of course. That is another pass at 13.
13 will pass. Jove.
Ooh. He will. He's raging in wolf form. He's not really in state of mind to be doing medicine checks, I think. So, I guess he's just going to be kind of like casing the joint for more enemies. He sees that Virgil is dragging him away, so he's going to be kind of like up there flexing by the pit of coins, kind of like, come on, like trying to intimidate the coins, essentially.
Give me an intimidation check.
Hell yeah. 19.
19. You flex and grimace and growl at the coins, and they are intimidated to not animate any longer.
Hell yeah. So he'll kind
It was
of.
all you're doing. It was totally you.
Yes.
And as you intimidate and let out that extra steam, Jove, you do feel your rage starting to subside. There has been no blood, no viscera, no carnage, minus some of your party members, and you feel that your heart rate starting to slow. Which brings us to Virgil.
Yeah, I'm going to use my action to use my handy dandy healing potion that I have in my bag here. It is just a regular potion of healing, 2d4 plus 2.
Indeed.
I will roll. Take 9.
Alder, in your
I
mind's
assume
eye.
for V, you're not just drinking.
Yes. Just, damn, Alder, you look fucked up.
Let me chug this energy drink real quick. I need a little brain juice to figure out what I want to do with this
It
boy.
really took it out of me that fast.
Just tons of it just fall out the mouth, just like Alder's like, I'll clean that up later.
Yeah, you don't even do like the full action, you bonus action. Ugly chug it. Like, oh man.
Ugh,
Yeah,
chug.
use my action to put him over my shoulder and fireman carry him.
Okay. Yes,
Alder,
right,
in your mind's eye, the amber sarcophagus that entombs you and your patron together opens once more, and you feel yourself pulled back into consciousness as Virgil pulls away the used healing potion, and your eyes open once more. You see Jove menacing the treasure over by the altar, but you are stable. Worse for wear, obviously, but no longer in danger of dying.
Did we do it?
No, this is heaven.
I don't think I get to go to heaven anymore, but thanks, friend.
That was the joke. I was hoping you'd pick up on that. And he'll give you a hand and pick you up.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Virgil. Thanks for keeping me alive another time.
Let's put air quotes around that.
Well, bringing me back to the land of the living. How about that?
I'll take it.
And as you pull Alder to his feet, Jove, as you see Alder and Virgil pick themselves up, the three of you all look back towards the altar, towards the front of the room, and still see, albeit some slightly melted and slightly squished, a vast hoard of wealth. And the question of, what do you do with this much wealth? Which is where we'll pick up on that conundrum when we return to our next game. Let's say goodnight to chat.
Good night,
Good
Jay.
night, chat.
Nighty night, chat.
Good night, chat. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. Appreciate you, as always, on a little bit of a different schedule than we usually do. But we will see you, not this upcoming Sunday, but next Sunday at our usually scheduled time. Thank you so much. Much love. Peace in the Middle East. Till next time.